Hey, Christian, you know what time it is?
Is it time to touch dicks?
No, it's podcast time.
Hey Matt, welcome back to Digital Leftovers.
Welcome back to Digital Leftovers. High five.
It's episode 8, and we're actually recording it and gonna release it decently after the last one.
This is in the fucking groove. This is a week after.
Yeah, go us. Fuck yeah.
Last week
I
did
really liked last week's podcast. So we did
we
spoiler cast.
covered so much.
But
you guys don't seem to understand how much we fucking love Life is Strange.
Before we continue, Matt, 3,
Absolutely.
2, 1. Perfect.
Pepsi. Although I prefer Coke.
See, I prefer Pepsi.
That is just to set him off. I actually am a Pepsi lover, but I'm thinking if I say I love Coke and people will just immediately turn off the podcast Matt, the fucking co-host, hates Pepsi. He loves Coke. He's a Pepsiist.
What a douche! Fucking Pepsi elitist. I am a Pepsi elitist. Suck my way.
Go to Don Cholitos or fucking Chipotle or something, and you see their Coke machines, and it's you see the Coke, and it's you guys are Pepsiist. You're fucking.
Instead of racist, you're Pepsiist. You're sodaists.
Literally, fucking. I was trying to do a bit out of that, and it just wouldn't go through. How are you, Christian?
I'm doing well, man. So, podcast last week was really good, but we are back to formula this week, and I'm pretty excited about it because I was really looking forward to that.
Hang on a second.
Oh.
Back to formula.
Oh my. That's a movie I haven't thought about in a minute.
Fucking the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Honestly, I know people love 2 the most out of the trilogy, but the first one is just
so good.
It's an iconic, benchmark in superhero movies.
It was our first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. First Spider-Man movie, and hero movies were kind of peaking because before that Batman was the biggest one. But by this point we already had Batman and Robin, and
we had Nipple on the bat suit.
Nipple on the bat suit, which Schumacher apologized for, but
whatever. I'm not worried about it. It didn't bother me as a kid.
It was fan service. I mean, you can't.
No. So at that point, it was the beginning of the superhero movie genre boom. It hadn't actually happened yet, but it was coming pretty soon.
It was
also,
a big boom.
I'm logged on to my Google Doc here because for those listening, we have Google Docs up for the podcast. So we have a template. We want to talk about this, and this, and then we go on from there. It doesn't have my picture up, but it does have Anonymous Chameleon. I'm a fucking chameleon. It's Matt Harrison. And you look in this picture, you look like you're saying your name, just like that. Matt Harrison. I'm Matt Harrison.
That fucking grin, that picture is 7 years old.
It looks 7 years old.
Fucking.
You look like there's some purple lighting in your hair. You look like you're trying to go Kaioken in DBZ, but failing.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. It was fucking portraits for when we did theater in high school, and we had this guy who just went so far out with his photography that he had a little studio on, and that was fine enough, but then he had the tints of color, so every person that came in, there was an order that we went in and out of, and every person he would have a different color spotlight on them, and for me he chose purple for whatever reason, and it's is there any real purpose as to choose this? But anyway, I look at this picture and it's I'm in a fucking existential crisis. I have no idea that I'm going to be doing a fucking overnight graveyard shift 5 days a week and doing a goddamn podcast. And
I just got followed by a cosplay.
Ooh?
And I follow one cosplay person, myself.
Yeah.
But before I saw, hey, don't be a fucking loud ass.
Chewbacca! Quit doing the roids!
So cosplay is in her name, right? But it's diamond. Picture of a emoji of a diamond. Cosplay. Diamond. Cats. Diamond. Food. Diamond. Stuff. Excuse me?
That's authentic.
I see cosplay. I see...
Is... Nipple slip?
No,
His face, for those who can't see video, I mean literally all of you, that his face went from curious to just totally disappointed. He just found out he was adopted or something.
I have a weird boner right now.
What's her?
I've never. Hold on, I'm gonna prep you for this.
Okay, set the scene. Here's my motivation.
Gotcha. So Ewoks aren't sexy.
and she's an Ewok. Wait, that I feel like that's a wig. Those
that's
are
a wig.
Those are straight up pointy tips that could poke your eye out.
Look at the eye makeup though.
I'm seeing the eye makeup is good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I would
take her to a nice dinner.
I would consider her giving me a nice dinner, looking into those eyes. But then again, I'm a gentleman, so I won't put it on.
Okay, I'm gonna translate what Matt just said.
He's going there.
To what he means. Matt's like, oh, blowjob eyes. Got it. That's what you mean.
I know.
It's like I want to have a nice dinner and look at her. You mean you want her on the D and looking up and you're like, eyeballs.
Okay, here's a meme that reminded me of that I haven't thought of in a minute. Fucking the picture of the girl with the two eyes and they're two different colors. Mm-hmm. Like one's blue and one's orange, like portal colors or some shit. And the caption read like, imagine these eyes looking up at you while she's sucking your dick.
Mm-hmm.
You've ever seen that
I've
picture?
seen those, yeah.
Okay, fucking classic.
Okay, that being said, I don't mean to like disrespect this person because she's actually a really good cosplayer. Like, oh my goodness.
I mean, don't get me wrong. What's wrong with Ewoks, man?
Well, I don't know. Keep up the good work because I can't do it. I don't look that. I can't look that good in half the shit you're pulling off here. I'm scrolling through some of the shit.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm looking at your nether regions and thinking like you could totally pull
off.
Oh
my god, fuck off.
Some male fucking cis. What's her name? Saria from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Like a male Saria.
Yo, dude. Okay, speaking of cosplay, Steve and I were talking about doing a cosplay. Where like we were just talking about like doing League cosplay, and I was like, oh, what if we dress up as wards? From League of Legends.
League of Legends.
Like he's like a normal ward, and like we put 3 health bars over him, and then like I'm a red ward, and I put like 5 health, like literally like take 2 clothes hangers, like and like put like.
I can imagine
here, like it'd be great.
I can imagine you could do that with one of those fat suits. You ever see those inflatable like blow-up suits? Maybe like if you're able to figure out that you just inflate the arm parts and the bottom side is more slimmer, so like that way your arms are kind of stuck out and those are like the wings of the Lord, and then like you have like a green cap on, so like that's the top of it. So like you look like the generic, and then the rest of it is brown.
And then we were talking about like Steven was gonna cosplay Pool Party Lee Sin if he changed his mind. So I think I'm gonna cosplay Pool Party Lee Sin. And and I was like, okay, so now you have to be a ward so I can jump to you, do a little ward hop, because Lee Sin with his W he can jump to wards. All right, so Matt, we're back.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at the notes here. It says let's make a logo. Let's make a logo. Fuck it, I don't know what it would be.
I've been
because like our logo right now is our faces, right? And I'm cool with that for now, but I feel like we need like a brand logo, not
we
face
want
logo.
something that kind of fixes, so like when people think of digital leftovers, and like here's the thing, that we know that podcasts are a very saturated market. I guess you could say market, so we're kind of thinking, what can we do to stand out? And I was thinking, the most unique thing is literally our faces.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that because the content that we have, what makes it different from anything else?
Right.
We have a formula of what we're playing, what we're watching, what we're reading, and talk about, pulpery and gamer news and all that shit. And it's like, what else can we bring to the table to make us stand out? So, I don't have any ideas, anything concrete, nothing that's on my, no files or anything.
Nothing on your radar you can think of.
No,
it's something we can think about. And
visions, thoughts.
So, like, our, top video has, 60 some odd views, which is really fucking cool, right? I mean, because we're just starting out. But the next one after that's currently sitting at 42 views. High five.
Thank you to the Life is Strange subreddit.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, because I know it can be considered shameful plugging. But we figured, Life is Strange. This also ties into it. The day that we released that podcast episode, you saw the tweet that I made.
Yeah.
Don't Nod made the announcement that they were working on season 2.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So it was a special thank you to the fans, and then it's like, oh, by the way, guys, you wanted a season 2 of this shit? You're getting a season 2 of this shit.
We didn't plan that. That just happened.
No, it was the same day that we released that episode that they made that announcement. So it was like we figured it must be some sort of twisted universal fate that it worked. The unintentional League of Legends pun there.
God damn it! I was looking at Twitter, at the Digital Leftovers Twitter, at 2bros1 mic cough, and I saw we got a retweet, and I was like, Who is this person? Is this a real person? Is this a
And
real person?
we saw some of this.
Is that a real person?
I'm thinking, if they're...
Hold on. We have to know. Media.
I'm seeing some blurred out titty pictures.
This is not a real
Not to
person.
mention, the profile picture is brunette, and that picture is a
Blonde.
So
This is fake.
Plus, I am grown-up lonely girl.
Fucking emoji of a fucking eggplant.
Listen, if you can't read English and you don't understand that you are getting spammed, you deserve to get fucked over.
Yeah, you deserve your spam. for that.
Oh my god, spams cannot figure out how to speak.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
It's kind of like when you get an automated phone call, right?
Yeah.
If you listen, it'll be like dead silence.
Yeah.
And then once you say hello, there's I don't know, a click, but then you can tell the silence ends.
Yeah.
Before they begin speaking.
Because it recognizes your voice and then it triggers.
The program knows to say hello, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing I realized is it does. I don't know. Have I told the story before? I don't know. I got a call, right? And I was like, hello? He goes, hello. And I'm like, robot.
Robot. And I was like, dude, what the fuck, man?
Hi. And then it sounded real. I'm like, I'm looking for David. And then I think if I were to say, this is David, it would say one thing. But I say, oh, I'm sorry you have the wrong number. Oh! And I'm like, robot, maybe you can help me. Beep. That's when I hang up.
Now that I feel like is a spam bot with class.
Dude, that's a very smart spam bot.
Because David is the name of the main protagonist from A Space Odyssey.
Oh my god, it is.
And HAL 3000, is like, good morning, Dave.
Dave.
So I'm thinking picking the name David is an homage or a reference to Space Odyssey. Really reaching it, but hey, we love our conspiracies here on Digital Leftovers.
Daisy, give me your answer.
I can't get any more erect, Christian. Please sing more.
Speaking of... God damn it. Speaking of Daisy, sing me your answer due. Were you in... you were in Baby with the Bathwater, were you?
No, but
That's the one me and... what was his name? That played my son.
Wait,
Because I was the dad. Fucking what's her name? Eugenia was the mom.
Eugenia? Baby with the Bath... Oh, God. That name sounds so familiar.
It was the Durang piece where it was the one where we had the kid, right?
Right.
And it's like, oh yeah, our beautiful daughter, and you just a baby doll, right?
Right.
And then at one point the baby's hiding under the laundry. And we're like, oh, what the fuck you doing, baby? Sweetheart, we named her Daisy or some shit like that. And then it comes Daisy, come down with your new dress. And then what's his name walks out from backstage. It's a boy.
Oh yeah, we talked about this before with
Yeah.
James. James was the girl, the quote unquote girl.
I don't think James was the kid. It was someone else. James was in, what's his name? I feel so bad because he's so nice and such a good actor.
Joey Booze?
It wasn't Joey. No, I don't know how I'm going to look this up fast. Anyway, fuck it. Moving on from Baby
Sorry, we can't remember all of our theater from K-State.
Written by Christopher Durang. Would recommend. Absurdist comedy. So good.
Okay, it's starting to come back to me. I'll have to look that up later because I think I know what you're talking about.
It's gonna bug me all day. All right, so back
Good
to
news.
What?
Good news. We have a sponsor.
Oh, we do. Yes, go ahead.
We have a sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. So our sponsor, comes out of Michigan. They're a new conglomerate specializing in the latest and greatest of blow-up dolls for girls, as well as inventing a cream that can permanently cure impotence. Think you know them as Digital Leftovers.
Digital Leftovers. That's us.
All right, I think we're gonna make it on record now that joke is officially dead.
We're 8 episodes in. That joke's dead. Episode 9. Be prepared to not hear that joke. We didn't make that joke last week.
The last 2 episodes we didn't make it.
Really?
Yeah, we went with 2 episodes.
Oh,
you were
wow.
doing so well.
I'm proud of us.
I saw in the template sponsored by blank, and it's I'm at work and I'm just thinking.
You're at work and you thought of that. That's hilarious. I love it. All right, Matthew.
Fuck.
So another thing you wanted to do, and we're going to give it a try, is the Reddit post of the day.
Reddit post of the day!
So,
most painful eliminations of the day!
Fucking blast from the past. So
that entire series is on YouTube, by the way. MXC, look
is
it
it
up.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've binged it at work.
I don't have to do it with the rest of my day.
It's so fucking... God, I love it. And the fact that I thought that it was a genuine voiceover translation and everything when I was a kid.
Oh, same.
And then realizing that it was an actual Japanese show and then the Americans just dubbed it. Fucking rad. But anyways, yes, we're gonna try something with every episode that we're gonna start out with something called the Reddit post of the day. So we each have our accounts and we have the subreddits that we're subscribed to, and we each personally pick something that we consider to be our favorite Reddit post of the day.
So I'm going first, and I'm looking at I'm trying to find the title real quick. It's called like when you roll a natural 1 on a bow attack. It was on one of my D&D subreddits.
Right.
And so I'm gonna leave with the title, and in post we're gonna in the description link it so you all can look at it. And,
yes, absolutely.
And enjoy the gift it's a gift. Mine is a gift this week. So go ahead and enjoy that, folks. All right, Matt. Let's talk about video games.
You completely blew me off with my Reddit post.
I thought we were just doing one.
The alternation.
We each doing one?
Yeah, I thought we each do one.
Hey, fuck you. Go ahead, do yours.
Woo! It's on the subreddit Aw, and it's a fucking hamster eating a piece of cheese.
Oh my god, I love it.
And he's wearing a freaking little Red Riding Hood thing, and then a locket around his neck.
All right, no, we're linking that. Yeah, I love it. I could watch that all day.
It's fucking r/aw is like one of the most genuine just escapism subreddits out there.
So we have 2 gifts for you this week. It'll be great. We'll come back next week with 2 new Reddit posts. And Matt, you gonna put those in the description in post?
Yes, absolutely. I put my link in there. You can go ahead and put yours in.
I did underneath Reddit.
We will drop it off in the digital dump. By the way, I apologize. I might not have communicated the whole. We each.
It's good.
Get
Now we know.
Post.
Now we know.
Woohoo!
And see, if it was perfect, this would be a boring ass podcast. So fuck that. It was way more interesting than here's mine. Here's mine. Let's move on to video games. Dick, you skipped me. Oh.
Christian and Matt win. They realize friendship's more important.
Huh! High five.
Where is the love in every fading rainbow?
I hate you. I think I actually hate you. Okay, so video games.
Yeah, let's talk about some video games.
So right now I'm playing League of Legends. I'm back in the league.
No shit.
Fuck off. World of Warcraft, and a very special game, Matthew, that I really want to talk about.
Yes, your fiance got you into it. She kind of brought it up.
Yes.
But you were the first one to cave in. She did not buy it at first.
So she was watching a YouTuber by the name of Cryotic. Cry. I fucking love Cry. A shout out to Daphne, literally Daphne's favorite Let's Player on the internet. It's Cryotic. So she's watching him. And I'm playing.
Cry was the person that she watched Life is Strange play too.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's what got that. It was like a mix of you and Daphne geeking out about it that made me want to play Life is Strange.
Oh, absolutely.
So I stop and I'm watching. I'm like, oh, is this Cry? She's like, yeah. I'm like, awesome. What is this? And it's called Dead Cells. I'm like, oh, and I'm watching it. So it was
Dead Cells.
Like watching it, I was like, it's a Metroidvania-esque roguelike 2D pixel art crawl, I guess.
Yeah, a dungeon crawler. And you know what? When I first heard the name Dead Cells, when you first told me it, I was thinking like that's the slogan to like a funeral home. Dead Cells. Dead Cell.
Oh my god. Dead with an S. Fuck off.
It's like Sports Illustrated. Tits Cell.
I'm sad. So yeah, no.
And Dark Souls. Darkness sold.
Okay, so Dead Cells. The quick description, according to the wonderful world of the internet, is Dead Cells.
The internet. What's that?
What? Because the internet. Come here, Tuka.
Oh, poor Tuka.
Dead Cells is an upcoming roguelike Metroidvania hybrid video game being developed by Motion Twin and currently is in early access testing for Microsoft Windows and PlayStation.
Hold the phone! Early access!
I know. We've been burned by early access.
Steam early access is supposed to be dog shit. How could something in early access be good?
Because it's not No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky wasn't even early access.
Shut the fuck up. It was bad.
It was still bad.
I don't want to think about it.
It might as well have been early access because, it's almost a year later.
And they haven't even finished.
And they've had one major update, and it's still mostly negative on Steam Store.
So yeah, no, Dead Cells. When I got on and I saw that it was in early access, I was like, what? Because usually early access isn't that good, but watching Cryotic play it, I was like, wow, this looks really polished and the gameplay looks good. Now, I think the reason it's getting such a positive reaction out of the Steam, community in general.
Overwhelmingly positive. Is it still overwhelmingly positive?
I think last time I checked it was. When I'm done here, I can go check real quick. But no, I think the reason that it's overwhelmingly positive, not only to myself, because I know I bought it, then you bought it, then Daphne bought it, then you got it for Eric.
It was like in the same night that it was a domino effect of Daphne was watching it, Christian watched, and then Christian bought, and then I bought.
And you bought it for Eric, Daphne bought, and we were all sitting there for hours just playing it together. It's a single player game, but we were all like playing it together.
So what is Dead Cells?
So you spawn in as this guy, like there's like this goop that like falls from a tube, and like it goes and like possesses a body.
It's a walking booger.
Yeah, literally. And so then you run up, and then you don't have a head, but there's like glowing smoke coming out of it, which is funny because in most games as a protagonist, like you're a silent protagonist in games like this. Mm-hmm. So like this guy's like, "Oh, not speaking, are you?" And you like point to your head like, "Dude, like, I don't have a head. Like, fuck you."
I have a glowing like that was the thing that surprised me the most is how like you respawn every time you die. Mm-hmm. That a new piece of goop like hops down and crawls onto a soldier's head, and then it just turns into a glowing orb. Mm-hmm. Like that is the most contradictive palette there of just like this green slime glowing fashiony orb.
Shit, before we get too far away from this, I forgot I was mentioning why I think it's overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
So I think the reason it's overwhelmingly positive at the moment is they released it early access, but it's all of the gameplay is there. There are bits and pieces missing. Like as an example, they're going to have they've got an NPC that's already in the game that like tells you about your achievements. And it's all sassy and snarky, like right before you jump in to go. Like,
I hate that.
And it's like, I've got your achievements, if that's what you can call them. And then you go talk to them. It's like not in the game yet. It like literally straight up tells you not in the game yet. So the content of the game, so like the point of the game is you start, you go through, and you kill things. Like it's Metroid, Castlevania, all of those things.
A Metroidvania type where you don't really have a linear path. I mean, there's a linear goal.
Yeah. But
where you go is up to you.
Mm-hmm. And you have to gather, and while you're fighting, like, I mean, we've said 1,000 times, it's a Metroidvania, so you find items and upgrades throughout. And have you read the item and upgrade descriptions?
Some of them,
some of them are funny.
They're very humorous. I think my favorite is the blood sword.
Yeah.
Just I cannot remember it off the top of my head. That's the thing. For an early access and all the items and the weapons that you can get, there are quite a bit, and I can't really pick like which one. I'm not gonna lie. The Bloodsword might have my most favorite description: cinnamon, lemon, liniment, linoleum, aluminum. I can't talk.
That was really good. I'm impressed.
The Bloodsword has my favorite description, but it's probably my least favorite weapon.
I liked it at first, but then I got the twin daggers.
The twin daggers have got to be the best. Okay, so imagine you are slashing a sword, and with every hit, your damage accumulates until your third hit, which basically doubles the output of your damage. And considering the fact that you can attack really freaking fast with these, you can get consistent a few hits out like every half second or so.
I think right now I have found my favorite combo. Dude, come here, buddy. Dude, come on. My favorite combo is I got the phaser ability. Phaser allows you, dude, it's so good. Phaser allows you to blink behind them, and it doesn't really CC them, but it like stun locks them. Where like if they're mid-attack animation, they stop.
Kind of like the freeze bolt, but like not actual...
Not AoE, but not actual freeze. But
yeah.
Do you know what it combos well with? Because it doesn't just teleport you to them.
Yeah.
It teleports you behind them.
Yes.
Assassin's Dagger.
The Assassin's... Yes,
if you have Phaser, Assassin's Dagger, and like 2 points into damage, it's like anything dies.
And that's the beauty of the game that... Just for as a disclaimer, this game is a roguelike. Those who don't know what a roguelike is, basically, you can make progress. You can get as far as you can in the game, but once you die, it's basically game over.
It's a hard reset.
Now, with that, it's not as hard of a reset as you would think, and this is the beauty of this particular roguelike, is that some progress is actually saved. The actual cells of the game.
Yeah, so like...
Which makes it similar to Dark Souls, because when you die, any cells that you collect, kind of like Dark Souls where you collect souls, when you die, anything of those that you collect, you lose all of them. Now, while Dark Souls, you have a chance to get those back. Dead Cells, when you die, your cells are gone.
They're done. They're gone. Now, what Matt's saying about like your cells like staying is there's checkpoints in the game that have
when you go between each area.
Yeah. When you go between each area, you meet a guy that is like, "Oh, you're back," and he's like an apothecary.
This guy with like a giant like fuselage on his back.
Yeah, it's really what it is. And then you're able to upgrade your weapons and abilities through this guy, through the cells. Now, once, let's say you get your, your Assassin's Dagger upgraded to Tier 2. When you die, it's still going to be Tier 2 when next time you pick it up. And that's
any time you pick it up. That's why I love the, when you respawn, you have the rusty sword. You start out with a rusty sword, very basic weapon. But then you have an option to pick between a melee weapon and a shield. And those are the upgrades that honestly I'm kind of grinding towards right now, is that the random shield upgrade,
it's good,
makes it so the starting shield that you're able to pick from is randomly drawn from the shields that you have unlocked. Same as with the melee weapon random, is that when you unlock that, it'll pick from random melees. And I can see why the melee weapon one is harder to do, because the shield one, you can get it right away. Mm-hmm. But the melee one, you have to unlock like 10 other upgrades.
Let me tell you something. That grind, totally worth it to get the random melee weapon.
And I still haven't even gotten there. I mean, holy shit, this dude is way further ahead of me. And that's just the thing. Everyone plays it how they want to play. Christian's able to figure out a way that makes him actually make that progress so he can unlock more shit. Mm-hmm. I, on the other hand, take my time. I'll actually explore each area, and if it seems like too risky of, a chance, that maybe I won't do everything in a particular area, that if I have enough cells, I'll think, fuck it, I'll go to the next area. This is where it gets terrifying, is that when you get like 3 areas in, it takes forever to find another exit.
I know!
Like, if you go, say you're in, because you start out in what's called like the prisoner's dungeon,
something like that,
whatever. Yeah, like the first area is always the prisoner's dungeon. And then you have that area to explore in. You can find chests, you can find everything else. The game literally starts in that area, and you can go up, down, sideways, of fucking circles. And there are like, I think 2 exits or 3 exits. You can either go to like the promenade, which is like a forest area. Mm-hmm. There's the old sewers and the toxic sewers. And those areas are pretty easy to get to in the first area. When you get to the next one, the promenade is probably like the second area, most comparable.
Yeah.
Because in the promenade, it's still kind of easy to get to another area. But if you go to either of the sewer areas, which I think are the only other place you can go to, literally you have to go so fucking far to find another exit. I have yet to find another.
Hey, don't be barky assholes.
Whether I go straight to the sewers from the prisoner's dungeon, or I go there from the promenade, that's where I always die.
Have you been to the ramparts yet?
The ramparts are another area. I know that too.
So I actually found the other day, because there's bosses, right? But they're just hella elites. So if you go through
such bullshit.
So you'll find some environment stuff in the game that you can't unlock until you beat certain elites. As an example, the moldy stuff on the ground, it's like when you walk up, it says tickle. If you tickle it, nothing happens until you beat the first major elite.
Which is a huge throwback to, like, you guys remember the classic N64 games, Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, fucking Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh my god, I played so much Conker.
That all those platformer games had that ability, that had that feature where, like, there are mysterious looking doors or things that you could potentially interact with, but then you realize you don't have the ability to do anything with them yet. And then it's like you get further into the game, you beat a boss or something, they give you another ability, and it's like, wait a second, I can backtrack and try that. Or in the case of Dead Cells, when you die on your next run, you can try out, rubbing the little green mucus thing. Oh, boom! It pops veins.
And now it pops veins like it's a veiny dick. It's vines.
Vines.
It pops 6-second films that
bones to veins, veins to vines.
Oh my god!
Sounds like a death prayer for someone who's like about to get buried.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Veins to vines, bones to berries.
Tickle the goo and get the vine. Oh, hey, oh.
In nomine Patris et Filii.
Oh my god. Oh, hi, Satan. When did you join us? Anyway.
Hey, podcast listeners. You guys enjoying this yet?
Wow, I actually lost my train of thought off of that.
You were talking about the abilities.
The elites. Yeah, so...
When you beat an elite, it unlocks one of those abilities.
And so I thought, okay, it's early access. This is this game's equivalent of a boss. Have yet to find the elite to let me, like, jump between, like, the sarcophagus.
The tombs,
The tombs. Haven't found him. However, I found an actual boss. So what you do is, I don't remember where you go, but you have to go into the ramparts, get to the end of the ramparts, and you go like the Black Bridge or something like that. And it's like a boss with like, because you see the elite, and it just says like elite. Oh my god, the face you're making. You look like
the front of Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yeah, it's just like So yeah,
I just put Gold Bond on my junk and it etches. It burns.
The icy hot. It's like, oh, it's lotion. I swear. Yeah, think about that. Think about it.
No thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go to sleep after this fucking recording. Don't put those images in my head.
Icy hot cock. Anyway, so get that on the please.
Ramparts, you found an actual boss.
Yes, I found an actual boss. And I was like, oh, this is different. He was called the Unfinished One or something like that, right?
The Unfinished One?
And he pops in.
That is meta as fuck. Considering the game is unfinished,
yeah,
the
right?
boss is called the Unfinished.
And his health bar was on top of the screen. That's how I knew it was a boss. And he had a name. And I almost beat him. I got him to the point where... So something I realized about this game is like, when you get the... And this is such a callback to old games of this style. When you get the enemy to a certain percentage of health, they start like blinking red to let you know that they're hurting.
Right.
And that's when they start really kicking ass, right? And they do that in this game. The bosses and the elites, when they get to a certain threshold, the screen will flash real quick. They'll start blinking red.
Yeah.
And they'll start doing more damage or doing different
They'll
combos.
like become enraged.
Mm-hmm. And
that's what I fucking hate about the elites, because like they're already targeting you the moment that you engage them, and they will follow you around the map. But once you enrage them, they can literally blink to your location.
Call it a day.
And
probably two-shot.
Pretty much call it a day, because they will two-shot you most of the time, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of that. Mm-hmm. It's very punishing. I can understand that it's like, well, if you knew that he was gonna two-shot you, why did you engage it? Right. Because it's like, I want at least a fighting chance.
There was one dude that I was pretty stacked. I think I had like 3 points in my damage, a couple in my health, and then like a couple in my abilities. I'm like, this is an elite room. I've got good CC with my abilities. I think I can take him. Literally two-shot me. I was like, and like, what is like? He hit me once, right? Mm-hmm. I disengaged, drank a potion, got full health, hopped back in, and then just got. I'm like, well, fuck you too. I guess I just died.
That is definitely like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not one to give harsh criticism or find an excuse, but anytime I've done that, like those attacks when they blink to you, like they seem unavoidable. Uh-huh. Like just most of the time, it's just so hard to process like how quick they move. And as soon as they're on you, like you just don't know what to do. It wasn't me.
See, the processing part, I agree, is the hardest part of that. Tuka, hey buddy. Doing like the mental process of like preemptively predicting, that's redundant. Predicting that they're gonna jump to you is like really difficult. The one thing that I really like is, again, back to the phaser ability. If they blink, if you're quick enough, you can blink, so they'll blink to you, then you'll blink behind them and go. However, and this is what I fucked up on, is predicting too quickly and blinking first. Then they blink to you. Now your movement's gone. It's like, fuck! Oh, it's so fucking good. So
it's frustrating, but it's fun at the same time.
It's that Dead Cells. It's that Dark Souls frustrating.
Two-dimensional Dark Souls frustrating, that a lot of the mistakes feel like your fault.
Yeah.
You
Not
know,
something the game did that's broken.
I shouldn't have struck that enemy because I knew he had a shield. He'd be invulnerable.
Right.
I knew that I should have thrown a dagger first to put him on bleeding so I'd do more damage as I charge in. There's a green zombie behind me. I should have seen him arching his back and then he charged at me. Which, oh my fucking god, those
they
things...
have so much range.
They do range and they hit you for a lot.
And if you get hit by that range attack, it's... Okay.
They remind me of the mushrooms from Dark Souls.
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You see them and they waddle about. They look so cute, but then when you start fighting them, like they'll ram their fist up, and it's like, look at this little puny little thing. What's it gonna do?
Oh, dead.
Like a fucking Skyrim big guy with a club. Troll.
Giant. Whatever.
Yeah, like they'll run up to you with a club, and then they smack you, and then you go flying up into the air. So it's the same thing that like fucking, you know, you underestimate the attacks and it's like that's what it is. It's a learning curve. So
Dead Cells, digital leftovers recommendation.
Dead Cells, fucking great game.
So,
also a candidate for something.
We're going to as a podcast, as a unit, as a whatever
Suck my unit.
We're gonna have at the end of the year, we're going to announce Digital Leftovers Game of the Year. And Matthew, our first candidate for Game of the Year 2017 from Digital Leftovers is Dead Cells.
Dead Cells.
Congratulations, you have our first nomination. However, I was talking to Daphne about this. I feel like we can nominate it, but we can't have it win until it's released.
You know,
it's not a full game yet. We cannot give Game of the Year. We have a responsibility to not give Game of the Year to an unfinished game. So I feel bad for not. So it is tentatively nominated. If it drops this year as a full retail game, not $60, but you know what I mean, as an actual game out of early access, then I say we take the asterisk away and we give it a nomination. So for now, you are penciled in as a nomination. Now, if you don't come out to next year, well, I guess we'll just have to nominate you again.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping that's what's gonna work out because, like, I don't know, we're still pretty early in the year.
Yeah, it's whatever month it is now. Yeah, we're pretty fucking early.
And not to mention, we have shit like, God, we have Don't Nod's next game, Vampire, coming out later this year.
Which, holy shit, Matthew, did you mention? I know you told me before the podcast, but did you say on the podcast what happened with that?
No.
How they announced it the day we launched last week's podcast?
The Life is Strange Season 2? I literally just mentioned that like 30 minutes ago.
Suck my ass! I have a terrible memory. Like it's so be prepared to hear. Did I tell the story already? And did you say this yet? Oh fuck! I just talked about it. Oh.
Can we like Tarantino and then go back and do our Dead Cells discussion?
Oh my god!
It's like Life is Strange where we rewind and then we start talking about Dead Cells again.
My head hurts.
Hey, Chris, you remember this cool game that you started playing called Dead Cells?
Suck my ass.
Please do, nice and slow. What? I think that's the milkman. I think the pizza man's at the door.
Ding dong. Oh wait, I don't know doorbell. Shit.
Anyway,
But yeah, so we have other games.
Dead Cells, really good. So I'm playing Dead Cells 2. I really like it. I think I've put enough input into it. I actually caved and got something that I was kind of hesitant about. I knew about it, but I didn't think of it because I'm not one to get excited about AAA games, you know, the day that they come out. But this one kind of had me hooked just because, you know, this was the first time that I was actually able to wait until it was released and wait for reviews and then to make a decision. And I made a decision and I do not regret it.
Is this...
This is the BioShock, System Shock, fucking Dishonored spiritual successor called Prey.
Okay, tell me about it, because you were telling me.
Prey, it came out about a month ago, and it literally is that. It's from the maker. It's from Bethesda. Bethesda had a part in it, and then it's also from Arcane Studios, the people behind Dishonored. And you'll know when you play it that it plays like Dishonored in so many fucking ways. There is stealth, there are upgrades, there are so many different tactics that you can utilize to make your way around the map. But it's also, you know, I don't think it's an official spiritual successor to BioShock, but honestly it feels that way just because it has the same elements of exploration, yielding rewards, and the idea of approaching enemies in different ways, that you have various strategies at your, you know, the fucking your arsenal to, you know, engage enemies. And oh my god, the enemies, you know, there are so many of them. I could go into so much, but anyway, it's basically a survival horror action RPG first person shooter, Gazoon type. Phenomena. That yeah, it came out earlier this year, and it's a survival horror, and basically you are a leading scientist on a spaceship that is studying the art of what are called neuromods, which are kind of like the plasmids in BioShock, the Vigors
Yeah.
from BioShock Infinite, and you're studying these things called neuromods that like implant memories and shit in your head. So like if you say you wanted to learn how to play the piano, you put a neuromod in your head, you instantly know how to play the piano.
That's fucking cool.
So that's what these people do, is that they go into space on this huge station called Talos 1, where they conduct this research. You play as Morgan Yu. You can either be a male or a female, and you are one of the head scientists along with your brother Alex Yu, who are conducting this research on neuromods on this giant station. And lo and behold, what happens when you're in space and, you know, you're researching weird shit?
Weird shit happens.
Weird shit and weird aliens come to fuck everything up. They're called the Typhon. And I don't know, when I see these things, like, I can't really compare them to anything just because they have a unique design. And I feel a little salty saying that because I feel like if I were to say this on the internet, which I'm not, I mean, it's not like this is going up later.
Oh, what?
But that I would get, you know, shit on for saying, no, they don't. They have a totally unoriginal design. There's so much shit like it. But what makes them so unique is that they all kind of look the same. And that is, like, just nightmare fuel. You know, whenever you look at pictures of, like, sleep paralysis or things like that, that you just see these demons that are just, you know, glowing eyes and then phase tentacles and energy and shit.
What are they called again?
The Typhon. And basically, you know, yeah, the Typhon invade this station and they fuck everything up. And you play as Morgan. You wake up. It's like maybe 8 months after the Typhon attack. They have officially overrun the station. And it's up to you to, you know, decide, like, this. I haven't beat it yet, but I can already tell, like, there's going to be a decision at the end of, like, do I destroy the station? Do I destroy the Typhon? Or do I just blow everything up and just, you know, pick one of several endings? That being said, there's more to it than that. You played Dishonored?
I've seen it played, but I've never played it.
So Dishonored plays the same way, that, like, when you go to each map, like, the map is given to you, but it's not holding your hand on where to go. And that's essentially what Prey does, is that once you're unleashed onto the station, you know, you go through the starting area, you kind of learn some tactics, and then when you get into the main area, you find you're in, like, the giant lobby, which is like the hub world. Like, you can go to these various branches of the station to check shit out, and at that point, it's completely up to you where you want to go. That being said, some areas might not be open to you just yet because, you know, you may not have upgraded something. You know, there's a door that you require hacking level 4 or something, and you have hacking 0 at first. So it's like, oh, maybe I'll go to another area, upgrade the skill, then I can come back and do this other thing. So it's also kind of reminiscent of what we were talking about earlier with Dead Cells, of, you know, unlocking abilities that can, you know, open shit up so more areas are open for you. And in that regard, that makes it not like a Witcher, Skyrim, Horizon Zero Dawn kind of open world, but more of a serpenty, like, Dark Souls open world. Because Dark Souls to me is also open world, that, like, you have all these areas open to you and you can choose where you want to go. There's some areas that you can go into, but you may get your ass beat.
So it's open world in the sense there's multiple options and it's non-linear, not like you can go everywhere in the world.
Pretty much. And that's also, like, you're also limited in that regard, that maybe there's an enemy that's just too tough to kill.
I'm going to go over here and fuck some enemies up I know I can kill.
Yeah, so then you can go to an area that's like more of a beginner starting area, and then you go back and it's like maybe you'll be able to wreck face because maybe you didn't have, you know, a shotgun. You just had your wrench, and you have more weapons at your disposal to, you know, fucking do shit. But anyway, I have to say I got immediately hooked by the story at first. Because the way it starts out is not the way that I expected. I mean, it starts out like you're in your apartment, very luxurious apartment, and you get in a helicopter because you're on your way to the station where they're going to run some tests, and then they're going to shoot you off in a rocket to go to the station. And let's just say, like, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a little further. I'm going to put the time code right here to skip ahead because this is a major spoiler thing and I want to fuck it because it's a total mind fuck. But within the first 10 minutes, you find out you've been on the station the whole time.
What?
And the whole thing was a simulation. You wake up, you're back in your apartment, but it's all run down and destroyed, and you go outside, there's already corpses right outside your front door.
What the fuck?
And then you find, like, how it was made into a simulation. They've discovered this technology called looking glass, which is like a mirror or like a computer screen, but it's like a three-dimensional computer screen. So imagine like you're watching a YouTube video on your laptop, you're able to look from like different perspectives and you can see like different angles. So it's like you're looking into another, three-dimensional space, even though it's just a glass. So it's projecting it.
That's cool.
So that's what the simulation is that it projects, a New York City metropolis type. When you get into the chopper is simulated. When you get out of it, you discover the chopper on like a hoist thing, kind of like a carnival ride or something.
Kind of like a flight simulator type of where it moves and shit.
Yeah. So like you see the chopper there, and it's like, oh wait, even the chopper wasn't real. Like the whole thing was a simulation.
That's fucking cool.
It was a pretty interesting twist.
That's disgusting.
Like, when you first start out, it's kind of like Half-Life or something that, you have to run some tests on your suit and, some psychological stuff. And I'm thinking like, oh, maybe this is stuff that like will determine what kind of character I'm going to be. Am I going to be chaotic, neutral, or evil, or good? And like, as you answer the questions, they start to mention things like, something's very weird. The answers aren't reading right. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? And then as soon as you get to the last test, fucking little head crab type things. They're called mimics. They're like the smallest alien, the smallest type of enemy that just jumps up, grabs one of the scientists, sucks his life out, and then the chamber that you're in gets gassed. You get put to sleep. You wake up in your bedroom again, and it's like everything's back to normal. It's like the time totally reset. The animations are exactly the same as when you first start the game. And
that's mental.
It is very fucking mental. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, the stream that I did when I first played it, like, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I actually had to go back and play the first, like, half hour of it just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because, like, when games start out like that, it kind of makes me wonder what the end is going to be like.
If they've already, like, they lead with their mindfuck foot forward.
Yeah.
Like, what's next?
Yeah, exactly.
What can you possibly do next that's, like, this shattering, mentally shattering?
It got me thinking of the Rick and Morty simulation episode, that it's like, when I'm exploring this ship and I think I'm on this ship for real, am I still like, is it a simulation inside a simulation? And just, that being said, like...
Hungry for apples?
Yes.
My man!
I mean, oh my god, I really, really fucking love Prey, because like it's got Bioshock, it's got Dishonored, it's got System Shock, it's got Dark Souls in it that like it punishes you if you go to an area that you're not supposed to. There's crafting in it, you collect materials, and it's like a recycler or fabrication system that like there's one machine that you can like dump junk in, and even weapons if you want to. You can literally put anything into it and it will yield to crafting materials. There's another machine called the Fabricator, which you use those materials to make literally anything in the game. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to make neuromods, like how in other games that you just explore and you find them, this is a game where you can make that shit. So like, say you play through you play for an hour in Bioshock, you'll find one or two plasmids, that you get by exploring. Yep. In this game, you can still get neuromods by exploring, but you can also craft that shit if you want to.
I like that a lot.
So because of that, like it rewards you. Say if you have enough materials that like, say you don't have enough neuromods, fuck it, create one.
Make it.
You accidentally scrapped your pistol, fuck it, make another one.
Make a new one.
You can literally make anything. Another fucking cool thing. There's a weapon.
Air quotes?
That's called the Huntress Bowcaster.
Okay.
Can you guess what that is?
The Hunter's Bowcaster.
Huntress.
Bowcaster. So initially I'm thinking like it's a crossbow.
It's a crossbow.
And so in my head, I'm imagining like a D&D like two-handed crossbow mixed with like the main gun from Dead Space. That's what I'm imagining in my head.
It's a Nerf gun. You get a fucking Nerf gun.
Like legitimately a Nerf gun.
Legitimately a Nerf gun. It shoots foam darts.
What? Game of the year. It's over. Nope. We've decided. Congratulations on Prey to being the Digital Leftovers 2017 Game of the Year.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love Dead Cells, but Prey, like, oh my god, it brings a lot to the table. Considering the fact that I also played Doom last year, the new Doom that came out, that was fucking insane. Prey is like that, but it's a little more tame. While Doom, you can run around and just fuck shit up and just blow everything up. It's like, that's it. You're the fucking Doom guy. You are ready to go and just rip the throat out of Satan. Rip the throat out of Satan's tongue. Wording. And, but
Freezing.
Prey, you can do that too. But, you might not have everything that you need to do that at any given time. So because of that, like, you have to... That's where the survival horror part of it comes in, is that... you engage an enemy that you may not want to engage, and you won't have, the materials to do it. You're out of gun ammo. You don't have a wrench. You don't have any sort of weaponry. And it's like,
fuck.
Yeah.
What else am I going to do? What's next?
You're going to be fucked. Now, that being said, the difficulty is there. The punishment is there. But you can be a save scum if you want to.
Save scum?
Because like with
this
this save scum, yeah, like with XCOM or Dishonored, if you're about to do something that you think you're gonna regret, you can save right on the spot, and then if you go in and do that thing, you can just quick load and go back to that point.
Me with Skyrim.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, the music got really intense here. Hold on. Beep 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 beep. Save. Oh, I got one shot. Load. See ya.
To anyone who has done that, you are save scum.
I'm save scum. I'm not afraid to admit it.
So that being said, fuck, Prey it's really good. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I heard about it. I was thinking, it's another generic first-person shooter with not much to it. But then I started seeing the reviews, and it's like, this game actually brings a lot to the table for a $60 AAA game, unlike other games. No Man's Sky.
So it's full retail, $60?
It's full retail, $60, and I'm not gonna lie, I dropped $60 right there just to try it out, because I figured, 2 hours, I'll, see if I can get an impression. I played 6 hours straight.
Really?
Yeah, that same night, I played 6 hours straight. I streamed for, the first 2 hours, and then I got off, and I was up till, 5 in the morning, because I was hooked. So, holy shit, it was really fucking good. But yeah, Prey, I don't know. It's like, you get vibes of Dead Space. You get vibes of the Alien movies.
That's so cool. I looked up a picture of the Typhon. Holy fuck.
I know.
Absolutely not.
They're they're nightmare fuel.
I don't, if I saw that in an alley, I'd be I'd give me the gun, it'd be way faster.
It's the aliens in this game, they may not seem original, but to me, at least, they are. Especially the Mimic.
Yeah.
Because, how every game has that, generic,
small...
simpleton enemy.
Grunt enemy.
Mario had, Halo had the grunts.
Huh?
Mario had the Goombas. Half-Life had headcrabs. This game has mimics. Which you think, oh yeah, they're small, they're manageable. Why do you think they're called mimics? Because, we could be sitting at this table right now, and literally anything on this table could be a mimic.
We turn to, now I'm a mimic, and now I eat.
And then it just pops off your spider, and then it just jumps up and sucks your life out.
That's fucking cool.
So, literally any room that you go into, anything that you can pick up or interact with could be a mimic. Which is probably this game's most original concept that it brings to the table. Everything else, is, inspired by other titles, but that's one thing that I don't think could ever have been thrown into the mix as an enemy that could disguise itself as literally anything in the game world. So
that's cool.
That made it a lot more terrifying.
Oh sweet, I'm out of ammo. Look, a gun. Fuck.
But that's all I really have to say. Just I really fucking I'm gonna have to say for this episode, Prey is definitely my number one game that I just
nominating it maybe.
It's definitely another nomination for me.
Okay.
Just because
we need to after this we need to make a page. It's Game of the Year nominations, and then
totally,
and then keep track. Actually, I have that already. I have that page. Prey, adding to the list. All right, cool. So Matthew, next up on our talkative talk list, what are you watching? I see here you're watching The Defenders.
Well, not watching, but the past couple weeks, ever since I'd say the 2 episodes ago, after our previous episode prior to the spoiler cast, I started watching all the Marvel Netflix shows.
Okay.
Because at that point, the Defenders trailer came out. And at that point, I hadn't seen Iron Fist, which was the last of the Defenders to come out. So I watched that, and then I watched Luke Cage first. Fuck. Luke Cage and Iron Fist were the 2 that I have yet to see. And for those who don't know, the Defenders are an Avengers type, because not to mention that these Netflix series are in the same universe as the Avengers movies. They're just kind of on a smaller scale of like what is the average Joe doing?
The average Joe superhero.
Kind of more grounded and not flying around in a mech suit or turning into a big green guy.
They're not the limelight heroes.
Yeah, which they mention. It's very clever how they mention it in the show. The battle on New York in the first Avengers movie, they mention that in all the series. They call it the incident. It's like some people are selling videos like, I got DVDs of the incident, full HD of fucking aliens tearing shit up and everything. And it's like, wow, they really are in the Avengers universe. But that being said, it's less about them and more about these lesser known kind of average Joe, simple people like, you've got Daredevil, you've got Jessica Jones, you've got Luke Cage, and you've got Iron Fist. And they create the first Defenders group. And that's what's coming out in August of this year, is this 8-episode series of the Defenders, of these previous shows. So what I've been doing is just rewatching everything. First I watched Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Really good shows. Luke Cage was awesome. I fucking love Luke Cage. Iron Fist, a little bit weaker, but I can see where they were going.
My brother fucking loved Iron Fist, and I'm really glad he brought that up, because I want to know if it's a because he's 10 thing.
It is. I feel like a younger person could understand it more. Which is surprising. He's 10 years old?
He's 10.
And they let him watch Iron Fist?
I don't think they let him. I think he just did.
They just did.
I don't think he asked. I think he just watched Iron Fist.
Yeah, because all those shows are TVMA.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of stuff he shouldn't have be watched. There's a lot of shit I watched at his age that I shouldn't have watched it. Did you ever watch Last of the Mohicans? Or Patriot with Mel Gibson?
I think my first R-rated that I got away with watching was Total Recall.
Really?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, which terrified me to death. Like the scenes where they're out and on Mars, like with the bug eyes and they're decompressing and everything, looked fucking terrifying.
Yeah, fuck that. My first R-rated was Patriot, and it is like there's
Mel Gibson Patriot.
Yeah, there's like a moment where like they're charging in a field and they've got a cannonball that goes off and just takes someoe's head clean off, and there's one where like it bounces so you think, oh, it's landed. No, it skips off the earth and takes a dude out at the knee, and I'm like, oh, like 10, like, oh, whoa, he doesn't have a leg or a head.
I want my mommy.
She was sitting right next to me watching it with me. Fucking, that's another reason.
What a twist!
I love my mom to death, but she's the reason I hate scary movies. Because
she like forced you to watch.
She also doesn't like scary movies. She doesn't like watching scary movies by herself. So she just dragged you. So she was like, "Hey Christian, watch this with me." No, it's scary. Come on, help me out. Like, watch it with me. I'm like, fine, I'll help you out. Ah! The Ring. I remember The Ring vividly because it's like the movie that killed scary movies for me. Also, hey Matt, I'm gonna do something for you real quick. I'm gonna put that waveform in. Censor what I'm about to say, okay? So, for the record, for people that are wondering what Matt just censored, we made an agreement on Digital Leftovers to never speak politics because Matt and I actually have very similar political views, which is great, right? It doesn't actually fucking matter if we have similar political views or not. It's just cool that we do.
Do they really count as political views if our political views are that we don't give a shit?
Yeah, because it's the same thing.
Like, we're indifferent?
Yeah, our political view is we're not Democrats, we're not Republicans, we're just kind of, whatever. That's us.
Pretty much.
So that's we've already broken our rule of no fucking politics talks, but just censor that last thing I said, and we're good.
Christian just had to get it out.
Yeah,
so.
I saw a headline, and I'm like, there's no way that actually happened, and apparently it did.
For something that we're censoring, like no one is gonna hear. Like we're
still talking about it.
We're covering more into it. The post censorship.
Yeah, we're dancing around it so well. It's great. I love it. So
you guys will just have to figure out what it is.
Just fucking Google search some dumb shit. Anyway.
Anyway, fucking yeah. Defenders. I am excited for it just because I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with a team up like this, because they're doing the same thing as like with the Avengers movies, that they all had the individual series and movies and everything. Mm-hmm. And then that converged into the Avengers, and I'm curious what they're going to do about this, because they're 4 very unique and not standoutish, underrated superheroes. Because before the series came out, I didn't know who Jessica Jones was, I didn't know who Luke Cage was, I didn't know Iron Fist, but they're all genuine comic book heroes who came out in like the 60s.
Yep.
Daredevil, everybody knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other 3, like, it was very interesting that they brought those people out. And then I watched the series, and it's like, wow, these are actually cool characters. So, that being said, go to Netflix if you haven't already. I'm sure everyone's already seen them right now. This is not timely at all.
Have not watched any of them, actually. The only one I've seen is like half the first season of Daredevil. And I watched it with my dad, then I moved out. So then I stopped watching it.
I would say, I know I mentioned 13 Reasons Why last week, but like I think if you're still not feeling like comfortable with that, I would say try to throw the Marvels list in there. I know you're still watching Bojack Horseman, which I'm hoping you can talk about at some point.
I need to finish season 2. Daphne just finished Bojack. Like finished. Like season 3 to talk to her about it. And she has requested that I do not watch season 3 without her.
No, yeah.
Don't watch it without her? Okay. Definitely hold off.
She wants... there are several things that she wants to see your reaction to.
Okay, deal.
Because by the end of season 3, just...
I love how real the show is.
It's anthropomorphic animals, and yet it's real as fuck.
It's like actual real life things that could actually happen. Like I was predicting some shit that would go down, but I had to like rein myself in. So I'm like, a couple things I'm predicting are like very, what's the word? Campy, I guess. Like what you would see in like camp, like oh, this is clearly this motif, yada yada yada. Well, I realized this show isn't relying on motifs or campy shit. It's like just relying on potential real life situations.
That's honestly, that's why I know Breaking Bad is, critically acclaimed for so many reasons.
Yeah.
But I think that for me is the biggest reason is that they could go campy and, all out action, have Walter White dual wield pistols against Gus Fring and they're, shooting at each other. But no, what they had was Walter White had a clever, elaborate plan and it went through. And it's like, that's what I think, a genius like him, would do in a real situation. Like the show did not seem like, many Deus Ex Machinas to it. Mm-hmm. So... I don't know. Speaking of, I know we're talking about Bojack Horseman here, but hopefully we'll get into that next week. I'm hoping you can finish it by next week, because I'm thinking we could really go into the series next week.
Well, with the new couch. Oh, by the way, hey, Daphne and I bought a new couch podcast. So with the new couch, Daphne, our remote stopped working. Daphne got a new remote for the DVD Blu-ray player.
Oh yeah.
My parents. This is probably the fanciest piece of technology I own. This DVD player. My parents got this for me for Christmas.
Everything around it just looks so old age.
Yeah,
old soul.
It's
the first generation Xbox 360 and the Nintendo 64.
And then like my small ass TV screen.
Even the dresser looks like you open it up and then a ghost is gonna come out of it.
Oh, thank you for freeing me. I think that's where my house spirit lives. Actually, I don't know where my house spirit lives. That's a segue. That's a little too early.
Maybe the house spirit is a mimic, and it was your chair for a while.
Oh my God, Matthew, stop! We're gonna get into house spirits. Let me talk about my fancy ass technology. So that DVD player is a Blu-ray player, and it's connected to my internet because I have Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Amazon on it. That's how I watch all my shit. I see on my template that it says I'm watching Legend of Korra. I actually don't have enough to talk about Legend of Korra just yet because I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in. But hey, podcast, I'm watching Legend of Korra finally. Pretty fucking excited because I love Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I remember when it was announced that it was coming out, it had a lot of hype to it, and it blew up like the talk about Avatar again, because Avatar was long gone.
Yeah, it was done.
It was already done and capped off. Still, iconic and memorable. I have yet to see it. I'm hoping to get into that eventually, but yeah, fucking. I mean, honestly, we had enough to talk about with what we're watching.
Let me get more to Legend of Korra. We can come back and talk about it. So, Matt, house spirits. Why did we bring up house spirits? Oh, maybe because I loaned you a book the other day.
Oh,
and you read a book the other day.
Oh yes. Let's talk about Christian mentioned this last week.
Yeah, on the spoiler cast.
It's a graphic novel.
Yep.
By the same guy who did Scott Pilgrim, which I've also yet to read. Hopefully I'll get to read that someday.
I can loan them to you today.
Is this my flash drive?
Yeah.
Yes. And it's...
Todd O'Malley's the name, right? Some shit like that?
Brian
Lee O'Malley.
Yeah,
I'm
Brian
an
Lee
idiot.
O'Malley.
I knew it was O'Malley. I just couldn't remember his name. Sorry, Brian.
Hoity. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I wrote Scott Pilgrim in sick. It's my name. I don't think he actually sounds like that, and I'm being really racist to my own heritage. So it's okay, right?
So, graphic novel called Seconds. Now, this is kind of a contradiction here because I had already played all of Life is Strange and Christian had not. Christian had read all of Seconds and I had not. So, kind of a role reversal there. Seconds is basic. It's... I don't know how to describe it.
I kind of describe it as like it was... At first, it felt like a slice of life.
Very slice of life at first. That it's not an action novel.
No,
it's just it's a slice of life story about a girl who owns a restaurant and wants a second restaurant.
Yeah, she
very straightforward, real story.
She started a restaurant. She is slowly weaning herself off that restaurant because she's been saving to open up a new restaurant in a better part of town. It's her dream restaurant, right? Yeah, right where she wants it.
And it's like, I realized, dream story, has an end goal, and it's like, this could go well in so many ways.
And of course, she's like a 20-something, so she's going through generic 20-something, real life, like hooking up with her ex-boyfriend, and then waking up the next day and being like, oh, why did I do that? Oh, that was bad.
And then she's got a lover. The chef is her lover.
Yeah, and then like she's like running. Okay, sorry, they're not exes. They have a fling. The chef.
Right.
The chef that took over for her restaurant is her lover, and so she their dynamic is in front of everyone. Hey, you're a stupid chef. This sucks. I trained you better than she trained him to. I trained you better than this. Fuck you, get out of my kitchen. It's my kitchen. You left, it's my kitchen. Then they go to the back and they just start making out in the fucking refrigerator.
That was honestly when I
That was a great cool.
I was gonna be hooked after that because that moment seems kind of cliche that a lot of movies and TV shows kind of do that, where they kind of throw you off into thinking, what the relationship is. Like, oh, is this guy going to be an antagonist or anything? And it's like, oh, no, it's just a front. They're lovers.
JK, they actually want the dick.
So that was a good revelation that I got. And at that moment, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be hooked. Because at that point, I hadn't even gotten into the whole changing mistakes thing yet. And it was like, I would be fine if that wasn't even in it because the characters at that point were already so...
dynamic,
introduced and characterized and everything. So I loved it within the first 10, 20 fucking pages.
Yeah, I remember when I read it in one sitting. I was like, done. But no, so what happens? The big fantasy sci-fi-esque hook in it is that she finds this mushroom.
In Seconds, the restaurant that she already owns is called Seconds.
Yeah, it's called Seconds. So in Seconds, where she lives above it in the attic.
Where she also lives, yes.
Yeah, she finds this mushroom that it's got a notebook, and it's and a set of instructions. And the instructions are think of the mistake, write it down, eat the mushroom, sleep. Right? Mm-hmm. So she's like, oh yeah, this is very important because this is why she does it. This is why she chooses to eat the mushroom. While they were making out in the freeze, whatever, one of the workers at Seconds got very severely burned, a grease burn on her arms, and it was really bad, hospitalized bad.
Yep.
And she lived, obviously, but it was bad, so bad. So she was so she sees it, she's like, there's no way this could work, this is stupid. So she writes down, I shouldn't have made out with what's his name, and what's her name, eats the mushroom, goes to sleep, wakes up.
Kind of their neglect caused this chaos in the
Yeah.
actual restaurant that caused this hot grease to get spilled on her arms and get these 3rd-degree burns.
So she like, whatever, eats it, goes to sleep. Wakes up the next morning, goes to the hospital to meet her. She's not there.
Yeah.
Goes to her house.
Well, here's the thing. Also, it goes through the reiteration, which it goes through they're called revisions. So like the book goes in chapters, but there's also little mini sections that are like there's like chapter 1, chapter 2. This is revision 1, revision 2, revision 3, and revision 1. It goes through a similar. It goes through the same panels as what just happened, but little things are kind of tweaked. And basically it's kind of like Life is Strange, and that Life is Strange you rewind, there's like an orange hue, and you're kind of doing things over. I noticed it was a similar effect in Seconds, where when he goes through the revision chapters, that it shows everything, but then it's like there's little changes to it.
You're right, revisions.
So it kind of goes through the same panels of what just happened in the story, but then little things get changed, and then it goes into the next section or the next chapter or whatever, and the main character doesn't know this yet, that she made the change, because she still thinks that the girl who got the grease spilled on her is in the hospital. She goes there, she's not there.
And then she goes to her house, and her grandma answers like, "Oh yeah, here she is. Hey, honey, come here." And no grease burns.
Yep.
She's perfectly fine.
She's
and
completely fine.
It's in that scene that she's like, the girl is like sweeping and like shit like that, and that's when it's later explained, because she does the same shit in Seconds to the restaurant. The girl, who I'm gonna look up her name so I can actually call her by her name. The chick that got the burns.
Hazel,
thank you. Hazel introduces the idea of a house spirit in every house. And Seconds is not only a restaurant, but a home. So there is a house spirit there. It's the one that gave her the mushroom in the first place, that kind of keeps the house safe, keeps everything in order. And if the house spirit is happy, then everything's going to go well at the house.
you notice how the house spirit's name is Liz, or Liz, L-I-S?
Yeah.
L-I-S?
Liz. Hold on.
I'm purposely leaving the silence here because
Hold on while I try to figure this out.
you are going to feel like such a dumbass.
Well, I haven't read this book in like...
L-I-S.
Hold on.
Audience, are you hearing this shit right now? What did we just talk about last week?
Ooh, I get it now.
Yes, the house spirit's name is Life is Strange, and for those, I hope you all can get it right now, but LIS, acronym for Life is Strange.
Which one came out first? Oh, we have to know.
The chicken or the egg?
Okay, here we go. Because they're very similar. Okay, so
2014.
2014?
We talked about this over the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had the theory that Life is Strange was possibly inspired by Seconds.
It has to be. So anyway, the house spirit thing is, and I don't want to go into like too big spoilers about the book. So people
we all know how this kind of story goes. That she goes through her day, she makes several mistakes, and she keeps trying to change them. Then she starts going further back in her mistakes.
And the thing is, though, is that she was given the one mushroom by Liz, right?
Yeah.
And
because she was only supposed to have one.
But then she found Liz's stash of mushrooms growing in the kitchen.
Right.
And she took them and she's like, "No, only one. You only get one." She goes like, "Fuck you." And then the house spirit starts getting angry.
Right.
Oh.
And at that point, it's it's interesting how the house spirit, in this story, the house spirit, sees her every time she does a revision, but she doesn't really do anything about it.
She doesn't
at
stop her.
first.
Yeah.
So, as this story goes, she keeps making mistakes, she makes changes, and the big lesson there is that, beware what you wish for, because I'm not going to lie, when she got to, her 8th revision or whatever, and then the black ooze started coming up from where she found the mushrooms, that just...
That's what did it.
It started getting really creepy there, and, I don't know, do we want to go into the big climax and the ending of this?
So the one thing
to discuss the parallels.
The one thing I want to do is just discuss the parallels. So it is discovered that every time, fuck, help me.
Every time we fuck?
Every time we fuck.
Every time we fuck,
I get this feeling. God damn it. Hold on, I'm gonna look at her face and remember her name.
Katie?
Katie, thank you.
Oh,
So every time Katie eats a mushroom and makes a revision, there's a reset, air quotes. But what it actually is she literally is put to a new world. Where that one thing is different. So like imagine like the infinite realities type theory, right?
Yeah.
It's like that she is put into a reality, and this picture of the tree that's on the back cover is really a really good, I think, image to represent that. Like there's like this is the main world with the two good like fart or something.
Yeah.
Oh god, the
I'm
smell.
smelling it.
So like if like the
fart.
tree is like the main thing, these are all the different potential revisions she could make.
That's a big twist that like it's not that's something that's like not too spoilery that like when we talk about shit like this, you know, the theories run wild.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one in particular that like actually is a twist in this story that with every revision that she makes, every change that she makes, she's not altering time. It's not time travel. It's just changing things, and then that creates, you know, a new universe where things are different except for that one thing that she decides to change. Because at the end, you know, when she goes on this psychedelic trip similar to what Max goes through in Life is Strange during that game's climax, that you discover like anytime you make a change or like a big thing or something, you know, you're not changing the current universe that you're in. You're just abandoning it for another one. And now, where Life is Strange succeed in that, honestly, I thought Seconds failed in that.
What do you mean?
Just because they just explained how that's what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
That whenever every revision that she made, she was just leaping to another universe that had that mistake changed. They didn't really show like the differences. They just showed the images of the tree and then the seconds on each branch.
Oh no, I actually disagree. I think they showed that really well, that she was fucking it up, because it started the Tuca is chasing a bug that is inside the house. Good job, Tuca. Get it? Oh, let me see what it is. Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. Tuca versus the Fly. Sunday.
Anyway, see, I really liked it because there's that moment where like she goes into the restaurant and everything's fucked. Like there's a band playing, but they're all skeletons.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I didn't really tie that together because that was before the revelation that there were multiple universes that she was just leaving behind.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started realizing that the fucking winter universe where it was snowing and then there were skeletons walking around outside. Like that was the first time we saw the walking skeletons, and it was like, wow, where is that coming from?
And another thing that I think is really huge is back to the house spirit thing. When she takes the cauldron, I guess. That's huge. So she starts growing the mushrooms. So she can have more, right? But what she does is the Lucky's, I think, is the name.
The restaurant that she wants to buy and renovate to be
called
her second restaurant.
Right. What she does is she takes a cauldron out of
that was in a fireplace that was bricked up.
Yeah.
And what do you do when you find something that's been sealed up for millions of years?
You take it to your house. Obviously.
You break into it and take whatever's inside.
And lo and behold, what did that do? That brought the house spirit from Lucky's to Seconds.
Into Seconds. Yeah.
And the house spirits butted heads.
Collided.
And that was very, very bad.
Which
That's
was
half the reason everything went down.
I enjoyed the foreshadowing in that because when Katie is first, you know, getting used to her, you know, revision powers, if I can call them that Hazel, the girl that she saved at first, you know, told her this bedtime story of how two house spirits, if they live in the same house, you know, they'll start clashing and, you know, shit starts going down. So basically that's like the big climax that Katie takes on the house spirit and, you know, tries to get things to, you know, settle. And then the next big twist is like she's treating this house spirit like it's a separate entity, like that it's not, you know, similar to anybody else in this story. But then lo and behold, similar to how Max finds her snobby bitchy self from the alternate timeline in Life is Strange, Katie realizes this house spirit is just a darker version of her. Yeah, so
It's literally all of the negative in her life just coalesce into one. It's like, look at all the shit, like, because like she got it from Lucky's, right? And Lucky's was the reason that she was kind of being a bitch.
Oh,
and
hell
so
yeah.
everything that was making her a bitch in the real world, that's the form the house spirit took when she finally confronted it. Was it looked like Katie, but dark, black, like black everything, red eyes.
The panel of them like standing next to each other and they're like identicals. It was like fighting Dark Link in the Water Temple all over again.
Definitely, absolutely. Oh, it was so good. I love Scott Pilgrim, right? But like this one, it's a one and done book, standalone.
It's from the same guy, and like you'd be surprised how well he emphasizes his style in it. Are Zdeno and Tuca Frenching?
No, they just clean each other's mouths sometimes. don't think about it too much.
I'm trying not
They're
to.
brushing
I'm
each
doing
other.
like most people do a double take like the weird shit. I do like a fucking 12 take. Just.
Oh God!
No,
They're brushing each other's teeth. It's my dogs are gross. I love them.
So seconds, go to a Barnes and Noble if any still exist out there.
I fucking love Barnes and Noble.
And fucking pick yourself up seconds, because granted we talked about it a lot, we spoiled a lot for it, but
it's worth the read.
it's such a good.
It's really
read.
hard to talk about seconds without spoiling anything.
Because it's such a unique, like different. It's not. It's you could say it's a time travel book, but it's not time travel. It's just changes.
Mm-hmm. Literally change. Oh, my wife is calling me. One moment while I talk to my wife.
Daphne, our special guest for this episode of Digital Leftovers, and she will not be heard.
Hello.
And that's how you drain sperm from a blue whale, Christian. So if ever you're interested, just give that a shot. Fuck, we were still recording? God damn it.
Oh, oops. Hey, and we're back. So, like we were saying, seconds. Go out, buy it, give it a read. We did, it's hard to talk about seconds without dropping at least some spoilers. But Matt, it looks like we're getting kind of close to time. So
we are hitting it.
But let's talk about some news stuff real quick. You wrote something on here, and I added something to it, and then I have something. So it's official that Destiny 2.
They have announced Destiny 2, which was already kind of an old announcement, but a few days ago they announced it's coming to PC.
Well, it's because Activision's on it.
Activision, yes.
And Activision was bought by Blizzard. So Blizzard, well, I don't think it was bought. They kind of like joined.
See, I still don't know
that. They fusion hard. and just so call each other Blizzard, but it's like Blizzard and then the Activision like arm of Blizzard.
Which you guys know what that means. Fucking Destiny 2 is gonna be on Battle.net.
Did they confirm that though? Because I know. Because I wrote on there. I wrote like potentially on the Battle.net.
Because if you go on the Battle.net news site, they'll have a big announcement that it's like that they have an image of the Battle.net client, and then they have an empty spot there, and then they highlight it, and it's like, this is where you're gonna see Destiny 2 in September.
That's so weird to see games. It's like okay, on my Battle.net app. Hold on, I'm gonna yell.
Well,
dogs, stop fighting.
Well, Christian goes to the computer where you're gonna hear the dogs duke it out.
So essentially, like on mine, it's like top to bottom. It's like WoW, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, Diablo 3, StarCraft. It's gonna be so weird seeing that laundry list of games and then Destiny 2. It's like, what?
All Blizzard, like, unique IPs that have been around for, like, literally 20 to 25 years. And then you'll
Destiny
see
2.
there. Because, like, for a while there, it was weird seeing Overwatch. Because Overwatch is the newest IP.
Their first original IP in a decade?
Yeah.
Like, what?
It was so weird seeing that added in there. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I guess because it is still Blizzard. And they've been working on Overwatch for, like, 3 years.
Also, fun fact, first Blizzard IP, Overwatch is the first Blizzard IP not Mac supported. Every Blizzard IP is Mac supported, except for Overwatch.
Wow.
And of course, I'm assuming Destiny 2 will also not be Mac supported. But
which doesn't surprise me, considering, like, Overwatch is a heavily competitive shooter. Mm-hmm. Destiny 2 is a graphics-heavy, I don't know what to call it, because, I mean, some people had their hearts broken by Destiny 1, some people absolutely adored it. I'm kind of mixed in the middle. I find myself coming back to it for an hour here and there.
FPS, MMORPG, fantasy, or sci-fi, I mean?
Yeah, I see nothing wrong in that, but, like, that's a whole other discussion that we could get into, but fucking, I'm not gonna lie, as far as Destiny 2 coming to PC, I'm hyped for it.
I think it's pretty great.
I'm gonna do extensive research on it. You know,
As you do.
The gameplay trailer is either out or is coming out by the time this
week,
episode posts. But I'm gonna watch that. You know, watch it thoroughly. And Jesus, I don't know. I'm thinking. You know that'd be huge to, you know, come out and everything. But Jesus Christ, just
so
Destiny on fucking PC. What?
Yeah, right. Like, what year is this? One more thing before we end, Matthew. This is a podcast announcement I want to make. So this is episode 8, right? Really happy we made it this far. Also, damn, literally 2 in a weekly thing. We haven't done that since like episode 3 or 4. Like
we understand, like, when we're doing this, you know, our commitment, you know, shines. But then when we end it and we go back to our regular lives, you know, a lot of shit starts hitting us, and it's like, fuck, we're actually adults. We gotta do other crap.
When are we gonna have time to record? Oh, it's been 2.5 weeks? Oh, look, we have time. Hey, welcome back to the Leftovers. But no,
rest assured, you know, we do want to make this. God damn, do we
want
love
to
it.
continue making
it works, and we want to keep making it.
It's just sometimes it's gonna be a struggle. Here's the announcement, though. It's episode 8, and we talked about this, and I think we should do it. We're going to do our very first, and we'll call it a test, of a video format.
Absolutely.
On episode 10. Kind of to celebrate 10 episodes.
Woo!
So not this episode, obviously, because it's over. But not the next episode. The one after that is going to be our first ever, and potentially only ever. We'll see how we feel with it.
Give it a test run.
Video podcast of digital leftovers. You can actually see what happens when one of us goes on a tangent and then like walks out of the room for a second. You don't get to see that. But like if Matt goes on a run, I'll be like, oh, like go to the kitchen. I don't get a treat.
And our expressions, which we won't need to describe. I mean, we'll probably still describe them on the video, just out of habit.
You know what's gonna be really shitty is it's gonna be like we're gonna have one source, a hard cam, as it's called, right? We're gonna have a hard cam, so we're gonna be like, oh, like do we actually get to the Anyway, I think that wraps it up for this week of Digital Leftovers. Unless you get something else you want to talk about, Matt, real quick.
We are making beaucoup amounts of content. Like we're hoping. Like I know Christian is streaming again. Yep. He's getting his Twitch up and running. I'm still
Twitch.tv/AceAvery93.
AceAvery93. Go watch. He does a great job with commentary, and he's a great streamer. So please check that out. I'm still making my memes on Instagram at EkoGrande. Kind of been slowing down lately, but I have some new ideas in the works.
Okay, so real quick, speaking of you slowing down the memes, you used to do a meme every single day, and I loved it, right? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't. They weren't getting bad; it was getting saturated. But now that you've kind of slowed down and not been releasing daily, the quality has gone up.
Kind of, yeah.
From my perspective, so from the outside looking in, I like the quality of meme better now that you're not doing daily releases. For the record, just from me to you, your memes have gotten way funnier.
That being said, like I still like doing daily releases. I want to keep the quality up and running, you know, because I still have a lot of memes in the back run, and it's like I just don't know when is the right time to, you know, release a certain meme or whatever, and that's judgment that I have to call because the only time that I really can make these is at work when, you know, I'm kind of, you know, workflow is slow and, you know, I have, you know, editing software in front of me, which is I've used for work, and the memes are just a nice getaway, you know, knowing that like the same shit that I do my work on is the same shit that I can make memes with, so it kind of gives work kind of a homely feel. So it feels good knowing that like at the same time as doing work, I can also do this. So it's like it's something that I, you know, embrace. So I enjoy that too. I have some YouTube ideas. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking of doing some solo YouTube stuff, and this is still like nothing I can really announce. But you know, I have my own little doc of stuff that I'm gonna try working out because it's like I don't know, just. We're
content hungry, man. We're hungry to make some shit.
We really enjoy it. So it's like we trying to find the time and just pump shit out because like we want to make a name for ourselves because, I mean, shit, I see myself as an entertainer. I see you as an entertainer.
Yeah.
Like
imagine doing this, but like for real.
We value and respect, you know, each other as content creators. And, you know, when we have the chemistry and everything, it fucking works. So, hopefully, we will do our damnedest to get the episode 9 out as quick as possible, because I know we have a lot of good shit that, are just starting to pump out that we can start talking about, because, all the games that we've been playing, all the news that is coming out. The Destiny 2 thing was a huge thing, and, just imagine, what could be announced in, the next couple weeks. I know Gwent was announced as well, the official Witcher card game.
The Witcher Netflix series coming out.
The Netflix Castlevania has a trailer out
my God.
for the animated series. So shoot, I'm surprised that Legend of Zelda had an animated cartoon. Mario had an animated cartoon. That was back in '92.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine 2017 Castlevania.
It's gonna be so.
That could
great.
open up the doors to a Metroid series. I would love to see it. Metroid is has a special place in my heart, and just imagining an actual series involving
seeing it,
because in the games, you have a giant talking dragon named Ridley, you have a giant fat talking lizard named Kraid, so it's imagine what you could do if those were actual characters in a story with plot and action and shit, and it's oh my god, this is the kind of stuff that we love talking about.
And now we get to talk about it.
We get to talk about it.
And one day maybe we'll get paid to talk about it. Sponsor us. All right, I think that wraps it up for us this week.
Thank you guys so much for listening, I guess, and
taking time out of your lives to listen to our bitch asses talk for an hour and a half or so about
wherever you are. You're at work, you're driving to the gym, you're fucking your girlfriend, or you're on the shitter.
Do me a favor and don't have sex to our podcast. if that's what you need to get off, call me. But if not, what? All right, guys. We'll see you next week for episode 9. Thanks again. See ya.
Take your finger out of the ass, Mark. You know who you are.